had the mission.
Tell me that again. What is that thing?
That was the docking module, that because our command module only had 1/3 of the atmosphere of air pressure, and the Soyuz had regular 1 atmosphere. So they had to, had to get together some way. So we said, well, we'll build this docking module and we'll keep it at 7 psi, so neither one of them had to decompress too much.
Was there anything difficult about making it?
No, not really. Just agreeing on it. We had to design from the command module, which used to dock with the lunar module. We docked one into that to the docking module, and the Soyuz had to design their system to dock to the other end.
Okay.
Let's go look at it.
You get it up there.
Like,
All right.
on the launch, the lunar module was stowed underneath the command and service module. We had to undock and turn around and dock to it and pull it out. And so we did the same thing with the docking module. That could create space conditions.
Okay.
And we did a thermal test with the docking module in there. I was kind of in charge of that test for a while.
And a lot of excitement around it, and was successful. And he said, now we're getting into this shuttle program and have no idea, but he said it's going to be so many people in it that something is going to happen. Because when they worked on Apollo, the program was, just was not so many people involved. But with the shuttle, remember that?
So how many people worked on the Apollo?
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, probably. Oh, several thousand actually.
200 on the
Well,
program.
in the Apollo program office, there
Yeah.
were only about, I don't know,
But-
150, 200, I don't know.
200, but
I was in the systems engineering branch, and
yeah. But sure enough, it happened too. So many, and that's.
What was your favorite part about the Apollo program you worked with?
oh, that's hard to say. But it was really exciting going to work every day. That was what's amazing, because every day is going to be some decisions getting made about stuff.
And it was pioneer work.
Yeah.
It was.
We had
Nothing they'd done before, ever.
We had fuel cells in the lunar module, and then it was a big deal. Everything depended so much on weight, especially stuff that went to the moon and had to even come back. They were designing fuel cells for the lunar module, and then we had a big study, and they finally decided to just put batteries in it, just without. So we had batteries in the lunar module.
Did you develop the batteries, or was that a whole other area?
No, that was part of the program, yeah.
And this is the roll through to get from one
What?
space. This is what
The
they-
docking module
yeah, the
that
docking
fit
module.
between the Soyuz and
Yeah,
the
so they could
command
join-
module.
go
There,
through that
right there.
thing.
And that had the oxygen and nitrogen.
In those round tanks?
Yeah.
You need to dust them.
Yeah.
No, that's space dust.
Actually, the crew on this is kind of a crazy thing. They made a bunch of mistakes, and they spent all their time trying to learn Russian and not really following what they were supposed to be doing. And the Russians were really concerned about our the little engines on the surface module that position it. They were afraid about the exhaust blasting on their spacecraft, and they were really concerned about that. And something happened when Gus Grissom was, no, not Gus, who else was it? Stafford and, who was the other astronaut? I can't even remember his name. But he, when they undocked, for somehow or another, he put the control stick over it and just blasted the hell out of the Soyuz. And our flight controllers didn't even know that happened. And we had a big meeting after the project, and the Russians, and they were asking all these questions about it. And we had this first meeting going on, and they kept asking, because we were working, thermal stuff. And, they kept asking us about that. So finally we got to the program managers, told them that, they got a real question about us blasting them with the RCS so much. It didn't happen. Finally they investigated, and sure enough, he had put this thing into a position on the controls that they hadn't ever used before, but he overrid everything and find out the second week of the meeting, they finally acknowledged what had happened.
Wow.
Oh, the Russians weren't very happy about that. Who was that? It was Stafford and it was. Where does it say who? Who was it? We couldn't turn these off. You couldn't start them again. So we had, and the command module, the service module, we only designed that, to go to the moon and back, like maybe 10 days or so. And when we docked to the Skylab, we stayed there, I think they were there for 3 months once or something.
Yeah.
And we couldn't we had to keep the fuel cells running because they couldn't start them again to come home. And so I did a bunch of work on the cooling systems of how we had to modify we had radiators to cool the fuel cells. And so we had to do a lot of work to be able to, we had to power them down as low as we could. And that affected the cooling system, wasn't designed for that. So we painted some of the radiators black to absorb a little more heat. So yeah, this is a marvelous thing, I think. It just makes electricity and water.
And what was the issue with getting them started up? Is it just
I never understood that. It was just you had to have ground equipment to get them going in the first place, and they weren't designed to restart in space.
Looks more complicated than a battery.
2,000 watts each. I think we had 3 of them in the service module, I think, but they would make normally around 1,500, but they go up to 2,000 watts of electricity. And we had liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen fed into them. Real lunar dust finally.
Wouldn't that be cool?
What would you have done with it?
What?
What would you have done with the lunar dust?
Oh, not me. I mean, but we would put it on the radiator on this TV package to test it. So when driving around, the dust got on that TV thing, and it wouldn't cool down properly. So
Having the dust would have allowed you to do some testing with it, right?
Yeah.
How to overcome it.
yeah.